All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right. Yet another victory, yet another clean sheet, yet another big test passed. For me, that game, honestly, I don't know about you guys, or obviously we'll talk about it, but for me, that game was probably the biggest test so far because of how dynamic the Everton squad is, and obviously with their manager Ancelotti, we know how classy he is. And it's a team, I believe, and I'm pretty sure you all will agree, the demise of Frank Lampard started, I feel, from the time we lost against Everton earlier this season. I felt at that time must have been a blip, but when you look at it, that was the particular blueprint. Everyone kind of took it, and then from there on, we found it very difficult to win. So since then, a lot has happened. We've got the victory today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the whole match, but first of all, shout out to the live chat. Obviously, all the people that's joined in and people that are going to join in throughout the session. We watch it down the track. Thank you so much, and all the support you give us. And thank you to the panel. First of all, Nishal, how you doing, my man?
I'm very well, thanks. Always good to be on after a great result. And of course, 11 unbeaten now. So much positive going on at Chelsea. And looking forward to discuss the game as always.
11 unbeaten and so many clean sheets in it as well. It's crazy. Jonathan, my man, the JT of this show. How you doing?
I'm just starting to get used to these controlled performances from Chelsea. We just look so comfortable. We look so confident. And we can dictate play when we want to. So, yeah, I'm really buzzing. Obviously, keen to dissect quite a few bits that I quite liked. I still think there's room for improvement, though. So, yeah, going into a Leeds game in an easier run of form, couldn't be happier.
Yeah, man. I messaged you guys, I DM'd you guys in the group chat saying that I personally thought that wasn't our best game at all, but we still won 2-0. That's how crazy it is. That's how we are playing at the moment. Even when we are not good, we win. Patrick, my man, how you doing? Thanks for coming.
Hey, Miz, thanks for having me on. Great to be on with you guys. Thomas Tuchel, first manager in Premier League history to have 5 consecutive clean sheets at home to start his managerial reign.
Wow.
So I'm feeling great.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Taryn, I know we're going to talk about Timo Werner a lot. I did promise you that if Timo scores and we win, I'll get you a Timo Werner jersey. He had 2 clear-cut chances, couldn't put it through. We're going to talk about it because it needs to be said. But Taryn, my boy, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm obviously buzzing after that win as usual. I'm always buzzing after when we win. But yeah, I feel like the second half performance was really complete, and yeah, it's been a real big step in Tuchel's. Each game is getting better and better. So yeah, I'm really happy against a really good Everton side who've beat some really good sides recently. So yeah, I'm buzzing, happy to be on with you guys, and yeah, happy to dissect the game as Jonathan said.
Brilliant. Nishal, let's start with you. Let's have some opening statements before we look into the lineups and obviously what Thomas Tuchel has been doing, play performances. Some opening statements, Nishal. How do you feel about after that game, man?
Very happy after that game. You know, we've been going through a really tough run of form, going away to Atletico, hosting Manchester United, going away to Liverpool. And I continued into this week. And while, of course, Everton, a very tough opponent, I was looking forward to the game more than fearing it not because of Everton being, a weaker opponent or anything, but just the battle we'd see between Carlo Ancelotti and Thomas Tuchel. And we know before we go into this, they're a point and a position below us, nothing in it at all. And they were going to give us a tough game. And they did, but I think we controlled it brilliantly. We really were dictating the game from start to finish. As you said, there's so much more to improve, which is amazing that we're sitting here 11 games without defeat under Thomas Tuchel. We conceded 2 goals, 9 out of 11 clean sheets. We're in the top 4, 3 points off third, and there's still room to improve. That's the progress, and that's the process we're going through under Thomas Tuchel. So the fact that we're at this situation, we're 6 weeks into his managerial reign, not even that, and we're in this position where we've got an FA Cup quarter-final, we're on the verge of a Champions League quarter-final, and we're comfortably in the Premier League top 4, it could not be better at Chelsea Football Club.
Oh, man. Well said. Honestly, so many good things going on with us. Jonathan, some opening statements, and tell us a little bit about how you felt about Kai Havertz, because I know that's your boy. Kai Havertz is someone you back from God knows how long. I mean, prehistoric days probably. But that performance, man, that was unbelievable performance from Kai Havertz.
Yeah, really well said by Nishal. Explained that perfectly. I think, I was very happy with Havertz. Obviously, hasn't really been his season hasn't really got going. He's had injuries, he's had a lot of other problems. It's been sort of stop-start. I'm hoping this is the start where he can now be settled and get a run of games. And it's all about momentum. If you come in and out of the side, it's really hard to get some form. The reason why Werner's looked better, I know he's not scoring, but he's looking better, is because he keeps playing and he keeps getting into those positions to score. I know he's not putting it in the back of the net, obviously to Taryn's disappointment, but he's getting in the positions. If Werner wasn't getting in the positions, I would be worried. So the goals will come. And with Havertz coming obviously into the lineup today, it's always going to be difficult. Played the whole game as well. I know I'd say he faded a little bit, but yeah, I was really happy because he got into little pockets of space. He drifts with the ball so nicely with his left foot. Obviously, the first goal was a lovely little first-time finish, deflected. Second goal, which was disallowed. We'll talk about the VAR decision, but that could easily have been given. The way he took it down, held the defender off and shot. Classic Havertz. He exhibited a lot of things today that made me want Chelsea to sign him. So I think it's a start. It's a good start. I don't want to heap all this pressure on Havertz, and I tweeted it a few days ago. Don't expect him to be our saviour because it's a bit early on to just say this guy's going to get us top 4. But it's good signs today, and if he keeps playing, he'll keep showing us why Chelsea paid all that money for him.
Yeah, man, agreed. He looked very sharp as well. For someone who hasn't played that often in recent times, he looked very, very sharp. Taryn, my boy, what's some of your initial thoughts?
Yeah, as I said earlier, it was a really, really crucial game. We're now 4 points above Everton. They could have gone above us if they drew and then they won their game in hand. So, yeah, it was a really crucial win. And I thought Kai Havertz, I'm really, really happy for Havertz. He played superb today. He proved why we spent that money on him a little bit today. And I'm sure from now onwards, hopefully, no injuries, no other silly illnesses, he'll just keep getting better and better and prove why he's such a great player. And some people have called him a generational talent in the past. I've been really happy with Havertz. Thought Werner was in good positions today. He could have scored. Obviously, I really wanted that jersey miss, but, Werner could have scored. And, yeah, Thompson Jones said it really well. Taryn's giving us good luck. And, yeah, I thought we played really well in that game. It was a really complete second half performance. I can't fault us at all. The way we controlled the game, and I felt like we came out of our shell while controlling the game, which was actually really good to see. Other games we maybe have just sat back after controlling the game, but yeah, we played really well, and I'm really happy, to be honest, Miz.
Yeah, the way we used that squad. I mean, I can't remember, besides that Richarlison situation, which was, once again, it was hit so wide, so I can't really even call that an opportunity. Besides that, really can't think of any other opportunities that Everton had, and this is a very, very strong Everton team. Patrick, you are the most happiest guy I've ever seen. Surely this particular result, that would have made you even more happier.
Miz, I'm buzzing. Everyone's been going on about Havertz, and rightly so, but another guy I want to mention is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi really, I thought, while he was on the pitch, I thought he was probably our most creative player. What I liked about him, especially today, is I liked how direct he was. He was a lot more direct than he has been in previous games, at least for me. And when he does that, and he has that, he put in some really good balls, really, came close to scoring a couple of times, linked up in the attack really well. And then also a shout out to Kurt Zouma. I thought Kurt Zouma was outstanding. And I'll be the first to say I've had my doubts about Zouma in a back three, but he played really, really well today, I thought. And really the back three all played well. And I think it's a testament to our defense that we were so comfortable, because as you said, Miz, Everton didn't have a whole lot of clear-cut chances. And so it was really great to see us, even though we didn't we were not playing to our maximum, but we looked really comfortable today, I thought, for most of the game.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. The back three is helping out all the defenders. Zouma, I thought in the initial parts was a little bit shaky, but then he grew into the game. And, once the second half sort of started, he was a monster. Obviously, I thought for a moment when he got injured, I didn't want him to get injured at all, but it was a good sign to see Thiago Silva in the sidelines warming up. And I thought maybe we could have had a glimpse. But Nishal, let's now talk a little bit about the lineup before we talk a lot about Kai Havertz, obviously. Looking at the lineup, let me just bring this up. I don't know if for some reason my internet has gone all laggy again. Not really sure why. Nishal, I'll go to you first up. A lot of pandemonium in the fan base when they saw the lineup. But I thought it was very, very interesting. Obviously Havertz starting as a false nine, Kovacic and Jorginho back into the double sixes. Rudiger being sort of rested, I wouldn't say benched or dropped. rested. I think that's quite timely because Zouma, we've got a lot of matches coming up and we've got the squad. And this is what I really like about Thomas Tuchel, how he's utilising the squad. And then Hudson-Odoi playing up front, but Kante and Mason Mount obviously rested. How do you see this particular lineup from your perspective?
Well, as we know, I like to be rational and I like to be calm in lineups. I don't see the point in overreacting or having a hissy fit or demanding Tuchel's resignation because Mason Mount isn't starting his 29th game in a row. There's no point in that. You're always going to see something in the lineup which you're not happy with. So-and-so is not starting. Why is so-and-so playing there? Why are we playing this formation? So I've accepted it for months, years even, where I'm just like, yep, cool, look at the lineup, brilliant, that's who's playing. Look who's changed, that's it. And, that's what you kind of have to do because in football, you're not the one choosing the teams. You're not the one looking at it in that way. Trust your manager, trust Tuchel. And I saw, and of course, the main debate was who's starting up front. Of course, it could have been Timo Werner as the only recognised number 9 on the pitch. But of course, Kai Havertz, we saw in the build-up to the game, he was going to be starting there. I'm sure we'll talk about that. He was fantastic. Deserved rest for Mason Mount. I wasn't too sure, obviously, given that he's going to be missing that Let's Go next week. But again, as I said, I didn't really care, to be really blunt. Zouma was really nice to see him back in the team. He's really struggled for minutes since he got displaced in our new back three under Thomas Tuchel. And it was, it was a surprise to see him back in. Maybe unfair on Rudiger. He hasn't been bad recently. He hasn't struggled, but good to see him back in the team. And overall, it was really just yep, cool, let's go. Let's get a win.
Was he on mute?
Yeah, I think it's on mute.
Yeah.
Man,
there you go.
I hate when I do that. The whole thing about Kante and Mason Mount, a few people have sort of said this, why they rested. The way I look at it is, yes, the Athletic Madrid would have been the rest for Mason Mount, but Thomas Tuchel does talk about the red zone when players are reaching that red zone. So Mason Mount is a player that has played quite a lot of matches in recent times. So maybe this was a particular match that just came up to it where he was entering that red zone, just deserved to sort of get that bit of break. Jonathan, when you saw this lineup, how'd you feel, man?
Yeah, I was interested to see Havertz play as that sort of false 9.5, whatever, is a trending topic on Twitter nowadays, that kind of position. Intrigued to see Alonso play and James the right wing back. I mean, I had a little conversation with Taryn earlier on Twitter about what wing backs could play, and that was the two positions that I thought would be the ones up for grabs today. Obviously, James to be a little bit more defensive on Digny, who's kind of the more attacking wing back for them, and then obviously Alonso to kind of get at the right back of. I think it was Holgate today, wasn't it? Yeah, Holgate and sort of Godfrey on that right-hand side. So, yeah, interested to see Hudson-Odoi start further forward. And obviously Werner up front or sort of on the left, sort of joining Havertz. So, yeah, again, not too fussed with the rotation because I think it was needed. And I think Tuchel, we can now see that we can trust what his plan is, how he wants us to set up. Every player knows the position, so we can sort of slot 2 or 3 in a game without really affecting us too much. Obviously, we've got games coming up. We've got the Leeds game, then we've got the Atletico Madrid, and then we've got the international break, and goodness knows what's going to happen there. So it's good to keep players fresh, and I think today he changed the right players in some positions where we could freshen up. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it went today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Patrick, I mean, I tweeted just when the lineup came up, I said, at this moment, I trust Thomas Tuchel on every little decision that he's making, with the lineup and whatnot. Is that how you felt as well when you saw the lineup that, a lot of changes, but it, changes that kind of, when you saw it, it kind of felt maybe it could just work.
Yeah, Miz. In fact, Nishal was going through my head when I was thinking about tweeting about it, and I just decided to not tweet about it at all, because I agree with Nishal about Thomas Tuchel was he's had 11 games, he hasn't lost, so why don't we just trust what he's going to do? We can all have opinions, and opinions are great, but at the end of the day, let's get behind whoever the starting 11 is going to be. We have a big squad. It's good to use that squad. And Thomas Tuchel has been using it to, near perfection in his time since he's been at Chelsea. So, and results speak for themselves, right? So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I trust Thomas Tuchel, and I really don't plan on commenting on the lineup too much going forward because, We just need to support whoever's going to be on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Taryn, is that how you felt as well, that when you saw the lineup that, you know, Thomas Tuchel is really utilising the squad well, or were you one of those that thinking, ooh, this is a very, very tough game? I mean, did we really, really need to do that many changes?
No, for me, the rotation made sense because on Thursday, like 3 days ago, we had a really, really intense game against the former Premier League champions. It was probably a really high press and intense game. So it was just normal to rotate. I'm not surprised that Tuchel decided to rotate. For me, I really agreed with the lineup. I thought it was good in a lot of areas. For me, a few shocks were probably Zouma to come in at left centre back. We haven't really seen him play there much. Maybe last season when we changed to 3 at the back towards the rear end of the season, he played there. But Zouma, yeah, played really well. We'll get into the players later. Hudson-Odoi as an inverted forward maybe was a bit of a shock as well. I thought maybe Christian Pulisic would have been given a start, but Hudson-Odoi played really well as well. Jonathan mentioned it. We had a conversation on Twitter about who's going to maybe play that right wing-back position, and it made sense in the end to go for Reece James. He really... Luca Dean got in some really good positions on the left to kind of cross him in, and Reece James was always there to stop him. So, yeah, I thought the lineup was really good. And obviously, I'm going to agree with all the Tuchel's lineups because 11 games, 3 draws, 8 wins. So just everything's going well at the minute. So, yeah, I thought it was a good lineup personally.
No, absolutely, man. Thompson Jones, I'm just bringing this particular comment out. Yes, Nishal did influence me by not commenting on the lineup. Nishal, it seems like you're becoming a bit of an influencer about the lineups, and this is a good thing. You know, this is exactly what we need in this particular day and age. That, you know, when you've got a manager, especially in the likes of Thomas Tuchel, who's been doing so well, you know, like 11 games unbeaten, you know, there's no need to question what he's doing, and everything that he's doing is turning into gold at the moment. Let's get deep into this. Let's talk about Kai Havertz. Let's start with Jonathan. I want to start with Jonathan, and we'll mix things up over here. Jonathan, as I said, you know, you're one who's always backed Kai Havertz. That's why I want to go to you first up. For me, that performance from Kai Havertz, that was, it felt like he was at home. You know, that false 9 position, the way he sort of played up front, you know, drops deep, links up with the midfield. He's got that passing ability. He's got the vision. He's got the burst of pace. You know, the way he got that first goal was really a movement from Callum Hudson-Odoi, a great movement from Callum Hudson-Odoi, putting Alonso through, and then Alonso finding Kai Havertz. Although it was an own goal, you know, Kai's movement in the box was brilliant. And then the second one as well, how he wins the penalty. I think it was a really nice ball from Kovacic, and his movement once again was fantastic. How did you find his performance, man? That overall performance, for me, that was a brilliant performance, and probably man of the match, to be honest, I would have to say. But yeah, I'll let you have a say on his performance.
Yeah, definitely man of match because he was the difference today. Obviously scoring the first, sort of, and then winning the penalty for the second. He kept getting into pockets of space between sort of the midfield and the defence. Alan just couldn't seem to keep up with him, and he's sort of the guy who would expect him to occupy the space. But yeah, Havertz was getting in positions. He was gliding around the pitch. He just looked quite comfortable today. You know, there's been times where his touch has evaded him at times because he's not really been in form. He just glided around, you know. First touch of his left was quite nice today. Obviously, the goal that he scored, or as I said, sort of scored, was a great first time finish from Alonso. It's not easy to kind of get into that position and hit it first time. So yeah, I'm really happy with his performance because, you know, he's had a very difficult time, and to be put, you know, in the middle of this lineup today, and have a lot of, I wouldn't say pressure on him, but you need, in that position, we needed someone to create today. We didn't have Mason Mount. Someone had to step up, and Havertz did. And obviously with the penalty that he won, you know, great ball in from Kovacic. He's got to the ball, taking it around Pickford. It's always going to be a penalty. It's a shame that someone like Havertz or Werner didn't step up, but I completely understand why Jorginho would get the game done 2-0. And yeah, he just looked, I'd say, confident today. And that's something that hasn't always been the case in a Chelsea shirt. He's been rushed at times. The first touch hasn't always been as good. And then the second time, or he's tried to touch it, someone's already sort of got on him and tried to challenge him. So yeah, he's had to adapt because the Bundesliga is very different. The tempo is a lot higher in the Premier League. But yeah, today it was, I hope, the start of what we are going to see a lot more of in a Chelsea shirt for Havertz. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I wanted him to sign, because he has so much quality. Physically, he's still nowhere near good enough, or nowhere near as good as he can be, shall I say. As I said, with goals, he's a 10-15 goal a season man, in my opinion. And yeah, I just hope that we can keep this momentum up. He can keep getting a good run of games, and we can keep reaping the rewards.
No, absolutely. Michelle, I want to go to you. I want to just check out this first goal because it was quite interesting to have a look at the movement of that first goal. And this is where I feel like, someone like Alonso, I know Chua has done really, really well in recent times in the left wing-back position, but someone like Alonso allows for this where he attacks the box really well. Callum Hudson-Odoi picks up the ball in this sort of area. He does really well to sort of, negate a couple of defenders. Then he puts a ball straight through the middle over here to Alonso, who then goes somewhat to the byline, finds Kai Havertz around this middle of the section, and then Kai's shot obviously deflected in. It was an own goal, but we as the fan base would like to think that that was a Kai Havertz goal, but yeah, obviously that was going wide. How'd you find the movement of that goal? Obviously, talk a little bit about the Callum Hudson-Odoi and Alonso, but let us know about your feelings about Kai Havertz's performance as well.
Yeah, the movement for the goal was brilliant. What I found really interesting was not only the combination between Marcus Alonso and Callum Hudson-Odoi, but also how that movement and link-up creates the space for Kai Havertz, because usually we're seeing Timo Werner on that left-hand side. And if that's the case, he's either dragging out further out wide to get across it, or he's going more centrally, really driving forward and not really having that space up front. Whereas when it's Marcus Alonso, he's kind of pulling further out as a wing-back, and then that creates much more space for Kai Havertz. You'll see the goal again. He had acres of space in the penalty box, which allowed him to give that finish off. And then, if you look at the finish, brilliant, first time volley, if you want to call it that. Really instinctive finish. Unlucky to go down as an own goal, but of course that's what got the goal. And it was really good to see him get that goal because you could see how much it meant to him. It's not been easy for Kai Havertz, not at all. But what we saw from today is what he's capable of. It's been difficult for Kai Havertz because we've not really seen him in his best position. I just shared a clip of us talking about where is Kai Havertz's best position, because he can play as an 8, he can play as a 10, he's played as a 6 back in Germany. But today he's been placed as a false 9. Of course, a few weeks ago, Tuchel spoke about playing him as a false 9. You're seeing him play there today. He just looks so free and so comfortable in his skin because he doesn't have those defensive duties, obviously, as a forward. But he's also not reliant on being that target man, being in the box the entire time, linking up and really being involved in that attacking phase, almost as like a hold-up play striker in we see in Giroud. But, seeing how hungry he was, how determined he was to really get involved, getting that assist for the first goal through the own goal, winning that penalty. And it was such a positive, bright performance, arguably, and I would say, his best performance for Chelsea, because we've not seen a game like that since Barnsley. And that was, 6 months ago in the League Cup. We've not seen Kai Havertz prove himself in that way, let alone against a very strong Everton team, against a team, gunning for Europe and on our tails. And Havertz was excellent today. And something I find really interesting is we're looking at our striker debate and our dilemma. We have 3 strong strikers in Werner, Abraham and Giroud. And obviously we're linked with Erling Haaland in the summer and whether we go for him. But if we've got Kai Havertz who can play in that false 9 position, something that Eden Hazard famously did really well when we had Willian and Pedro either side of him and Hazard playing through the middle. Could we see the same for Kai Havertz? And could that be a case where we don't need to get another striker, because when maybe we're starting Timo Werner up top and we need to bring him off, then we bring Kai Havertz off the bench and he goes into that false 9. So we have another strike option, which is brilliant to see. And it's a really strong position that we're put in for the next few months and the near future.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I mean, it's a different option that it gives us with Kai Havertz up front. So 100%, I'm absolutely enjoying it. Taryn, I want to now talk to you about the second goal. Obviously, we've covered the first goal. The second goal as well. Let me just quickly take this off. Kovacic from this particular position, I mean, look, we will talk about the player performances down the track, but this particular incident, Kovacic around this area, darts in a beautiful ball straight through the middle, finds Kai's movement. Kai goes towards the ball, tries to go around the keeper, and obviously gets fouled, 100% a penalty. And then from there, Jorginho steps up, hop, skip, and, nicely in. Taryn, once again, from your perspective, how good was that movement from Kai Havertz, giving us that different option up front? I personally, and this is not having a go at Giroud or Tammy Abraham or anyone else, but Kai gives us that different ability up front, to go direct like that along the ground and find movements like that. how do you find Kai's game as well, and that whole sort of situation of how we built up to that second goal for the penalty?
Yeah, just on that goal, I'm trying to think what was better, the pass from Kovacic or the movement and the run from Havertz, because it was a wonderfully weighted pass. You know, it wasn't too hard, wasn't too soft. Perfect for Havertz to run in behind and use his pace that we know he has. He's proved it at the Southampton game early in the season, the Sevilla game, all of last season and the season before. Havertz, we know he has that pace in behind, and the Barnsley game. But yeah, it was a really great run from Havertz. It was kind of one of those late runs. We saw quite a lot of Havertz last season. Going behind Godfrey, who had quite a poor game today. Going behind him and drew the challenge from Pickford. Really smart from him. Needed to get a first touch on the ball, and that was needed to win the penalty. Maybe Abraham, I think, could have won that penalty, but would he have made that really darting run through the middle? I thought it was really smart, well-timed run and a great goal. For the penalty, I probably thought, me personally, I wanted Werner to take it because of the offer you had, Miz. But yeah, I kind of wanted Havertz to take it as well. We've seen that Havertz has a really good penalty taking attributes. Bayern Munich last season in the DFB Pokal final or the Super Cup, I believe it was, where Havertz got a penalty and just banged it top in. Great penalty. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really well constructed goal. And we've seen a lot of our goals so far under Tuchel. Maybe their individual talent, relying on individual brilliance or individual brilliance, something like that. But it was a really well worked goal, a great pass, great run, great touch, all smart, really well, good football. And yeah, that goal was superb, man. And I did want some more goals at the end. We could have had more, but yeah, that goal was still good. And yeah, I'm happy with the Havertz.
No, absolutely. Patrick, I want to give you the chance to talk a little bit about Kai Havertz before we go into the player performances and whatnot. Do you expect Kai Havertz to now do you think that is probably, there's been so many questions about what is Kai Havertz's best position? Everyone's been talking about it. Do you kind of feel that now kind of defines it as close as possible being his best position?
Right now, I would say it does, because we've heard Thomas Tuchel talk about he's kind of a hybrid between a 10 and a 9, and something that stood out to me about Kai Havertz, I agree with all the other guys, but I was impressed with his positioning as much as his link-up play. Like even for that first goal that even ended up as an own goal, he had the presence of mind to be there to think like a number 9 and be in the right position, and that's been something that we've had a lot of crosses go across the box, and we've had situations where guys haven't been there. And the fact that Kai Havertz was in the right position to be right there, to kind of cause problems for Godfrey, to put it off Godfrey and put it into the goal, by virtue of him being there, we're up 1-0. So yes, to answer your question, I do think that that's the best position for him in this current formation. And I think that his link-up play and his positioning today were outstanding.
Brilliant. We've got nearly 160 people live right now. I'm pretty sure we'll get closer to 200. Thank you so much, live chat, for always joining, always being with us after the matches. Honestly, makes the experience so much better, and all the comments that you guys are giving. Please smash that like button, get it to at least 100 likes straight away. It's just a testament to you guys always supporting the channel. So get those likes up. And to all my panelists here, guys, I will have all their socials in the description, so do come back later on. But you can also see the previous videos. All of the descriptions are there, so follow each and every one of them. Nishal, let's get straight into the player performances. Let's go from the top. Let's talk about Timo Werner. Obviously, we've talked about Kai Havertz. Let's talk about Timo Werner. For me, oh man, I was getting a bit frustrated at the end over there, where he had 2 really good chances. First one, I felt like he could have taken another touch and taken it on his left. Like I felt there was enough time for him. Like this is the issue with Timo Werner. I feel like he's always rushing because he's so pacey. He's always rushing. He needs to just calm down. Second one, I just wanted his clinicality to come into play. He had the right, his right foot, but he hit the keeper, Pickford. Man, this guy just can't seem to finish. And I don't know, like, is it a curse? Is it going to change next season, perhaps? I mean, his movement is fantastic. His work rate is fantastic. How do you see that performance, Nishal?
It wasn't his finest performance. I think we can all admit that. Even Taran can say that he didn't perform well enough. And what's frustrating is we've seen him play much better recently. He got his goal against Newcastle. I think he played really well against Liverpool. Unfortunate to not get on the score sheet in that game. And today he just wasn't good enough. He had his chances. he had the service, but he didn't take his chances at all. The second half, much more frustrating because those two chances were much more clear cut. And at a point in the game where we really could have killed it off and taken full control. The second chance was a good save from Pickford, but that's one where you just smash it into the top of the net, getting it in and going for that first one as well. Like you said, could have taken another touch, could have shaped up and really just calmed down a bit in front of goal. But the thing with Werner is it's not a fact that he's missing the target completely. It's not a fact that he's not creating chances or getting in on goal. It's that confidence. Because if we compare him to other strikers, and I know it's really harsh to do, because each to their own and all of that, but compare him to other strikers in the past and you can see that. Morata, for example, he struggled because he had no confidence. But the problem was when he didn't have confidence, he wouldn't hit the target, he wouldn't get chances, he'd have his head down. Werner's the opposite. He makes chances, he's got his head up, he's always determined to do better and really get involved in the game. So the signs are there. And the numbers are there as well. I think he's on 19 goal contributions this season. That's not poor at all.
Yeah.
I think that would be the first or second highest in our team. I don't know off the top of my head, but that's one of the strongest numbers. And yes, there's a lot of room to improve. Look at him last season, 40 goals for RB Leipzig. He's clearly capable of those numbers, but it's not been complete doom and gloom. He's currently on about half of those numbers. Yes, that's not brilliant. That's not the levels we know he's capable of. But there's always a lot of stuff where we can say, look, he's in his first season. He struggled. He's had to go through 2 different managers in the space of 6 months, and he is still doing well. But if we have games like this, it's much harder for him to make that stake and claim that stake in the starting 11 because we have competition. We've got Olivier Giroud, who always turns up when he can. We've got Tammy Abraham, who although right now he's struggling, is capable and always a strong striker to have. We've got Kai Havertz, who can play in that same position. And the same on the left wing, Kovacic, Hudson-Odoi. Yeah. It's not like Werner is our only option there. If he's not performing, he will not be playing. So he's got to focus on himself to get that consistency, be performing at a strong level and be finding the back of the net. But he's capable of doing that. We've seen that this season. We've seen that last season. But he really needs to get his head down, end the season on a high, and then recharge and refresh himself for the new season.
No, absolutely agreed. I really liked how you said, Nishal, about, we've all said this. His attitude is always great. He misses, but he doesn't put his head down. He doesn't slump. He goes and he tries, keeps trying. Insane thoughts. Miz, I think he feels pressure in his mind. Have you seen his first touch is always bad? No confidence. Perhaps these sort of things are playing in his mind, knowing that the entire world is looking at him. I've said this with other people not that long ago that, when he was playing for Leipzig, and no disrespect to Leipzig has a great fan base, but Chelsea has an even bigger fan base. So everything is sort of looked at in a microscopic sort of manner. So he probably understands that everyone's looking at him, but he just needs to forget that and just realize, just stay composed, stay calm, and the goals will come. Jonathan, let's talk about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi, for me, had a really, really good game on the left side. Obviously, very instrumental for that first goal. But throughout that first half, he created a lot of havoc after the first probably 15, 20 minutes. It was a bit lull, but he really came into the game. Obviously, he got taken off in the second half, probably, I don't know, just to give Mason Mount some minutes, just to sort of keep his sort of momentum going as well. But how do you see Callum Hudson-Odoi's performance in that particular game?
Yeah, really good. Obviously made the first goal, dropping deeper to allow, I think it was Holgate or Godfrey, the centre-back, to come out, which obviously allowed the space for Alonso to come into, Havertz then to occupy a free position on the edge of the box. And again, highlighted it on Twitter. I said about getting in behind the Everton centre-backs, not great at tracking. If you can have a little bit of movement, you're going to find some joy, and that's exactly what happened today. Hudson-Odoi and Havertz and Alonso, the three of them on that left-hand side, causing problems. And Cavgas View, obviously appreciate the comments. Another person who's honest, Cavgas View, so go and check him out on YouTube. He has a slightly different opinion. Obviously, the reason I love coming on Miz's channel is because the type of guests he gets, obviously giving everyone a voice. And it's just here, we're honest. There's no agendas, as Cavgas said. And it's, we enjoy with everyone and getting involved with the live chat. So obviously big shout out to the rest of the panel, obviously the live chat. I know Miz says it a lot, but obviously I really appreciate it. It's one of the reasons I like coming on. But yeah, Hudson-Odoi, look, I said I wanted him from the left because he can cut in. He had a really nice ball he put in from the left. He had a shot which Pickford put over the bar. So I just think he's a bit more effective from the left because he's got the confidence to come in on his right foot and shoot and cross and put a ball in, do a 1-2 and drive. On the right, yeah, he can be good right wing back, and I can see why people want him at right wing back because he's a bit more attacking than James. But I just feel like on the left, he just gives us an extra dimension. And obviously with Alonso overlapping, it makes us quite dangerous on that left-hand side. So, yeah, I thought Hudson-Odoi was good today. Came off, I think. I wouldn't say he was tiring, but I think it was a smart choice, obviously, bringing Mason Mount on because Mason Mount came on, created chances, energetic. So, yeah, everything Tuchel does just seems to turn to gold right now. 11 games unbeaten. Obviously, that's why we're all smiling.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed how Callum and Hudson-Odoi linked up with Alonso. We will talk about Alonso in this player performance, obviously, but that link up between Callum Hudson-Odoi and Alonso, very unexpected, but it worked out brilliantly. Patrick, let's talk. Obviously, we talked a lot about Kai Havertz, so I'm not going to touch about Kai Havertz. For me, he was man of the match. I'll get your man of the match down the track for everyone. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other players. Let's talk about the wing backs now. Alonso, for me, Alonso was, it feels like he needs that break every now and then. It's not always good for him to keep playing all the time. And then he starts thinking that he's a normal part of the team. That break in between where Chilwell came in and Chilwell did really well, Alonso got to kick up the backside today. He really got out there and wanted to showcase that he wanted to do well. And I said it from the get-go in my lineup thoughts that if Alonso doesn't get a goal or an assist, then I might as well have Chilwell because Chilwell for me is better than Alonso in all the other departments. The one place where Alonso is better is he knows how to attack the box. How did you find his performance, Patrick?
I thought Alonso was good today. The guys have already said it. I thought that he linked up well with Hudson-Odoi. As you said, Miz, the way he attacks the box is one of his pluses. I'm like you. I honestly prefer Chilwell in most departments. But, today, I think Alonso does best when he's not comfortable. And what I mean by that is when he doesn't feel like he's comfortable in his place. And when he has a long run of games, he does really well when he gets back into the team. And sometimes he can, back off a little bit. And I don't think his performances are as consistent as they can be. But today, when he came back into the side, just like you said, Miz, I thought that he played really well. He played with intent. When he stays focused, he's a good wing back for a reason. I mean, he's ideally suited for that, as we all know. And honestly, he almost had a goal today.
He almost had a goal. Yeah,
just missed one. But it was going to be classic Alonso to almost get one, right? I mean, whenever he's out of the team, he comes back in and he was this close to a goal contribution. But anyways, to answer your question, I thought he was really good today.
And then he was instrumental for that first goal, finding Kai Havertz. Shout out to Baggy TV as well. Another very, very good YouTube content maker. Please, guys, go and follow Baggy TV right now. Alonso defended well today. Yeah, I must admit, he defended. He had a very good all-round performance today. And as I said, I feel like Tuchel has found that he's found what ticks and how each individual in this particular squad, how they behave and how they tick. And maybe he's also found out about Alonso that he needs a couple of games off in between just to realize that you're not a permanent stayer in this team. You need to keep playing well or else Chilwell is going to take your spot. And I love that. I love that about Thomas Tuchel. Taryn, my boy, let's talk a little bit about Reece James. For me, Reece James, defensively in that second half, in that final stages of the match, he was just muscling everyone over, slide tackling, very strong, commanding. Moving forward, I don't see enough sort of, commanding passes, progressive passes. I feel like he lacks that sort of confidence at the moment. Maybe that's because he's not a right back. Even that shot that he took, I believe it was in the first half, and it lacked confidence. That shot just lacked all sorts of confidence. And that shot earlier in the season against Brighton, he absolutely hammered it and he scored that blinder. Look, I think he's put into that right wing back position for a particular reason, to defend more than to attack. But I feel like it somewhat compromises his game. How do you feel about his performance?
Well, for me, I think that Reece James 100% has the ability to play in that right wing-back spot. I know I've said it before, maybe I don't really prefer him playing there, but today I saw a lot of signs from Reece James that proves that he can play there. He has that explosive bit of pace that can go forward. He has the strength to bully past the left back. He has the passing range. He has it in his locker, He has the he has the ability and the technique to whip good passes, switch the play really well. So I thought that there was one run, I think it was at the 37th minute or something like that, where Reece James bodied past Alon, who's a really, really strong, like bullish centre mid. He got past him, absolutely bodied him, and he could have scored if he would have got on target. I feel like with James, it's just that final pass and that final shot that's lacking. We know he has a crossing ability. We saw it multiple times last season. He just kept whipping them balls in from the right. Maybe now I feel like he is more central compared to last season. We'd see him always overlapping maybe Willian or Abraham to try and get the crosses in. But now he seems to be a bit more central, and that could affect him a little bit. But I do feel like by Tuchel, he is kind of telling him to try and stay back and combat maybe the left back a little bit more now, which is kind of hindering his final third play. But still defensively, he's absolutely beast. You know, he's playing how I like my defenders to play at Chelsea. You know, no BS, just all tackles, bodying everyone, getting in there. You know, not leaving anything behind. That's how I like Reece James to play. And he look in his face, he's like, I'm not having anything. I need to stay in this team. I'm good enough player at Chelsea Football Club. So if you're going to come up to me and push me around, tackle me, I'm going to tackle you 8 times harder. And that's what I want from Reece James. You know, like he's a really talented player. We saw it last season. And if he keeps continuing, I can see maybe him transitioning to a CDM maybe later on in Tuchel's system. I feel like he has all the attributes to kind of, he has the pace, he has the stamina, maybe a little bit he gets quite out of position a few times, but I feel like he can definitely boss the middle of the pitch. If we don't have to go out and get a DM, I feel like he can play there. But yeah, Reece James, he played really well. And I just want to touch on this. I think that with Azpi recently, he's been working really well. They're kind of helping each other with the positioning. And Azpi and Reece James, maybe one of them's kind of reading the play, one of them's getting stuck in. So yeah, I really like that combination at the minute on the right hand side. We don't look like conceding at all on the opposition's left hand side. I really like it, and yeah, it's a really convincing defense at the minute. Reece James, hopefully he can play better in the future in the final third, because he definitely has the ability to be dangerous. He has shot power, passing, dribbling, strength. So I feel like he can definitely get there in the future.
Yeah, no, I agreed with you that in the sense that there's a lot of room for improvement with Reece James on the right side. You know, defensively, we are absolutely rock solid, as you said, with Azpilicueta and Reece James on that side. Everyone gets bodied, completely destroyed the way they sort of defend. It is exciting knowing that there is that ability that Reece James could produce up front as well, because he has that. So watch this space sort of attitude on that particular front. Obviously, a few more games to play this season. Nishal, let's talk about the double sixes. I always like to talk about the double sixes as a group. For me, I did say they were a bit sloppy in the first half. Some of the passes sort of went astray. Sometimes, you know, we lost the possession as well. But as the game sort of grew on in the second half, they came more alive. They started to control a lot more. How do you see Kovacic and Jorginho? Obviously, Kovacic with that, second involvement, getting that, pass to Kai Havertz for the penalty. What was your feelings towards Jorginho and Kovacic? Once again, a very quality opposition. They've done fairly good.
I'm glad you came to me for this one, because I was very, very impressed with Jorginho and Kovacic. What I admire, but the thing is, they get so much criticism and so much slander from his fan base. Sometimes justified, absolutely, because there's a lot you can criticize and point out for Jorginho and Kovacic. But some of it is just like ridiculous. I don't want to say an agenda, because I think that's quite an immature way to look at analysing football. But sometimes it feels like some people are just out there to attack these players for no other reason than they're not playing as double registers in a triangle, diamond, 4-4-2 attacking Cruyff style sort of thing. Like, it's ridiculous. But the amount of criticism and slander they get, I think they're brilliant today, and they've been brilliant for weeks, the way they complemented each other. Like you said, I was happy with their first half. The only thing I would criticise were a few times where they were both going and trying to get the ball back, and they just end up hacking the attackers and giving away needless fouls. Obviously, it's always with good intent. You're never often just trying to break their legs for no reason, but sometimes it felt as if they were just giving away unnecessary fouls. But the way they complement each other and the way they work together is just a joy to watch, because Jorginho is so comfortable in seeing him winning the ball back and driving forward and turning. And
it's so good to see them 1-2 their way through the middle, isn't it, Nishal? So good to see the 1-2s in the middle and how they just break through.
And they're so comfortable in the middle together as well. It's not like one is out of position and the other's trying to clean up for the other. Kovacic is so comfortable and so precise in his tackling Jorginho is happy to drive forward when he needs to, and of course he got that penalty as well. I would say all the criticism you want about his penalty taking or his record this season, but he is someone we can rely on. That's 7 out of 10 penalties this season, which is still a really good record. So I was really, really impressed with Jorginho and Kovacic today. They've done so well to come out of the cold, really prove themselves again at Chelsea, and show that they still have a future together under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, 100%, especially the 1-2s that they play to get through. You see sometimes 4 midfielders come in and rush in onto them. They just play a couple of 1-2s, and before you know it, the whole midfield's opened up. And the whole thing about Jorginho's penalty, I know not many people are talking about this. I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed this. He has mixed it up. He picks and chooses what he does now with what keeper is there. When it was, I can't remember, he recently, was it Lloris? Hugo Lloris, where he went with a smash. He didn't do the hop and skip. He just went with a smash. And then obviously with Pickford, he went with the hop and skip. He's mixing it up. He's starting to realize he's doing his own homework as well, that which keepers are genuinely very, very good keepers in order for him to, for them to wait until the last moment, and which keepers that he knows that he has the edge above them. So kudos to Jorginho to do his homework as also fantastic from that aspect. Jonathan, let's talk about the back three. Talk about Andreas Christensen. For me, he is the defensive leader, man. He just controlled that match at the back line. He's so comfortable on the ball. The way he was creating the triangles with Kovacic and Jorginho, the way he was sort of bringing the ball out. For me, that was a flawless performance. I don't think he made a single mistake. He marshaled that whole area brilliantly. How'd you think about his performance?
Yeah, very good again. And he's taken a claim, as are the rest of the centre-backs, to continue when Silva comes back in. Because as good as the 3 centre-backs have been, Silva's our best defender. He's got to come back in. So everyone's staked their claim to kind of retain their spots. But yeah, Christensen, again, very good. I wouldn't say it was his busiest game. Again, comfortable on the ball, switches it nicely, keeps play moving. But yeah, I think the first half, they did press a little bit higher, and we did struggle to kind of progress down the pitch. And then as the game kind of drew on, we got better and better at that. And yeah, the pivot was under a little bit of pressure to begin with. I recall one point in the second half where Jorginho was on his knees, to be fair, but that was late in the game. So I think that's one thing that everyone's highlighted today about Jorginho and kind of gone, the pivot wasn't very good. We control games with the centre-backs, with the pivot. We have a lot of safety, I'd say. It's quite supportive, our structure under Tuchel. So players like Christensen are allowed a little bit more time. He's a spare man, and he looks so good in that role. Whether that 3 or 4 centre-backs that we have can adjust to a back 4, I'm not so sure. Because Zouma, I know we'll talk about him, but I thought he was good today, other than the one chance where Richarlison, it was a poor touch and he shot wide, but he didn't get close enough to him. Other than that, yeah, the defence was flawless, and Christensen again, yeah, very good. So yeah, very happy, but we just look so comfortable. I really struggle to kind of criticise the back 3 and the pivot, because every time we're on the ball, even when teams are pressing us, like Everton did in the first half, we look just calm and confident on the ball, and we play our way out. And even if it takes 10, 15 minutes to start progressing up the pitch and making it count, we're just patient. And that's a key figure, I think, in this Tuchel team. We are patient.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I mean, we look so rock solid, so patient. And then we will talk about Thomas Tuchel after these player performances down the track, because he keeps deserving all the praise. Patrick, let's talk about Zouma. The live chat has been going mental about Zouma. We need to talk about Zouma. For me, as I said, the first few moments in that first half was a bit shaky. I'm very glad that Thomas Tuchel, we have seen Zouma play in the middle whenever he's deployed Zouma. I'm glad he's played as a left CB. I've always said that he's not suited for the middle, and he's kept with Christensen. But as the game went on, Zouma got into the game. He was very dominant, as Jonathan said, bar that one incident with Richarlison. But then again, Richarlison, it would have been a tight sort of shot, because it was quite wide. But for me, Zouma had a very, very good performance. Obviously, with all these centre-backs doing well, it just means that everyone's on their toe. Rudiger can't just sleep anymore. He needs to be on his toe as well. What do you think about Zouma's performance, mate?
Like I said earlier, I thought that Zouma was very good. I attribute that the struggles early in the first half to trying to trying to get back into the flow of the game since he's been out of the side for quite a bit. I think he was needing to get up to the speed of the game. The main man, Jonathan, is right about that chance against Richarlison. That was definitely a misstep on Zouma's part. But I thought he really grew into the game, particularly into the second half, when he really kind of bullied the defenders, and he luckily didn't get hurt. But I really thought that he was more and more assured as he went through the game, and he used his strength to his advantage. He even got up front and used that beautiful head of his for corners, and even had a bullet there in the second half that unfortunately went right to Pickford. But overall, I just kind of thought we saw the Zouma that as the game went on that can play, that at his best can be a real asset in that back line.
Mute.
I was on mute as well.
Man, what is going on today? This mute business. But as I was saying, Patrick Zouma definitely agreed. For someone who had played much to come in and do a job like that, that's brilliant. And hope he stay on like that, stay focused. That there'll be games where he gets an opportunity. Taron Azpilicueta, I don't know what to say about this guy. This guy just week in, week out, keeps performing. Near man of the matches performances all the time, or there or thereabouts. I think someone tweeted not that long ago, I don't think Azpi has ever produced anything less than sevens. 7s or 8s almost every game. Barely has a fault. How'd you see his performance?
Well, for me, under Tuchel so far, 100% one of our most underrated players. I feel like his performances do go under the radar quite a lot. Like maybe Hudson-Odoi and Mount are constantly praised by the fan base, but Azpi quietly does his thing. But it's so pivotal to our defense, our clean sheets, our solidness. Solidness is even a word, I don't know. But yeah, Azpi has just been so solid at the back. I don't see him getting ran past anymore like maybe last season. Doesn't get maybe, let's say, bodied by a few big strikers as we saw last season. But yeah, he's been really crucial in the leadership, I feel, at the back, maybe telling Christensen where to be sometimes, and that could have helped Christensen with his reading of the game a little bit more. Obviously, helping Mendy maybe with his French to maybe translate some of the English lads if there's some difficult words. And I feel like leadership is really crucial in a team that maybe had a difficult spell before. As you know, before the Wolves game under Tuchel, we were really struggling. So, but Azpi to come in, I'm sure he's calmed everyone down, got the team in working order. Obviously, I mentioned before, I really, really enjoyed to see him and Reece James linking up. And Azpi is always really confident on the ball. I feel like that does go unnoticed. I rarely see Azpi giving the ball away. He's always an out ball for our goalkeeper, our centre-backs, play it to him and maybe spray out wide. And he's really comfortable on the ball, as I just said. And yeah, onto the fact of helping Reece James a little bit. Reece James maybe does get caught out of position a little bit just because he's a young player, maybe not used to some of the runs of some of the players in the Premier League. That's understandable. But Azpi always there and helping Reece James with his positioning. When them two are together, I rarely see our right-hand side getting exploited ever. It's usually down the middle. But yeah, Azpi has really, really gone unnoticed, and he's been superb in on the right side of that back three. Yeah. We know he's probably a world-class centre-back, I'd say, as a right centre-back in the back three. Maybe not too good to use the term world-class a lot, but I feel like he is with his passing in the back three, the way he drives out from the back, penetrates, use that extra man in defence to kind of get in there, make some overloads in the middle and out wide. I feel like Azpi's really good at doing that. And yeah, he just goes really unnoticed. And I feel like the fan base, the live chat, everyone need to just respect Azpi a little bit more, because I think he's 30 years of age, 31 years of age, and he's still providing so much for this club. And he's a club legend at the end of the day. Show some respect on Azpi's name, guys, because he's doing so much to help our defence at the minute.
No, I have to agree. Have to 100% agree. Azpilicueta has been phenomenal since Tuchel has taken over. Nishal, I believe you need to go. We will let you go. Thank you once again. Guys, I will have Nishal's information in the description very, very soon. But if you need it right away, please just check out some of the previous videos. All of Nishal's information is there. Follow his blogs 100%. He's got some crazy stuff there. But Nishal, before you go, any sort of final thoughts that you want to say?
Yeah, first of all, sorry for having to go a bit earlier, but, it is what it is sometimes. But brilliant game, 11 games unbeaten, fantastic result. And as I keep saying, week after week after week, we are in the perfect position because this is far from the final product. We've got players we can sign what Tuchel wants. We've got players to get rid of. We've got tactics to work on. We have so much time ahead and so much to work with. And the fact we're in this position already, where we're still in the FA Cup, we're still in the Champions League, we're still in the top 4 race, is a real testament to not only Tuchel, but also players who are really coming back and coming back stronger to come together and get this team back on track. So another fantastic win. Really, really happy. And, you know, what else can you say? Lots of praise towards Chelsea. If you've enjoyed what you heard today, you can find all of my work on nishosblog.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at nishol_sp. Also, make sure you go subscribe to Miz, the other side of a coin. 3,000 subscribers. Keeps building, keeps grinding through health, through everything. Get them to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. But thank you very much for having me on, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Nishal, for those kind words. We'll see you soon. See ya. Brilliant. Jonathan, let's now talk about Mendy. Mendy, I've always said he doesn't get talked enough. He's been sort of under the radar. He just keeps getting the clean sheets. You know, really nice stop of there was a long-range shot. I think there was another few sort of corners where he came in and he collected. I know there's a lot of talk about Donnarumma and whatnot, but this keeper deserves a bit more respect lately, yeah?
Yeah, he's been solid when he's been called upon. Today, I think there was one shot which I think it was Gomez from the outside of the box, solid straight at him, but held it well. There was a corner where he was getting shoved by a few players. He did get a touch on it. I think it was called for a foul. But the thing is, a keeper in this sort of system where we do have the safety of the 3 centre-backs, of the pivot, we look like we're going to control a lot of the ball and possession and games. We need a goalkeeper that's going to be concentrating. So when he is called into action, they deliver. And that's exactly what Mendy's doing. So, look, I've always said it's up to him whether he wants to be Chelsea's number 1. When he was signed, I was unsure whether he could be the long-term number 1 for Chelsea, whether he's good enough. He's done well enough to say, well, unless you go and get an Oblak or Donnarumma, something like that, or someone like that, he's done more than well enough to be considered our number 1 for the long term. So if he keeps doing what he needs to do when called upon, as what is it, 6, 7 clean sheets, whatever he's had since Tuchel's came in. I know Kev has had 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, he can only do as much as the Chelsea backline allows him to do, really, because we don't allow too much pressure and too many shots. So yeah, when he's needed, he stepped up. But in some games for the rest of the season, not all of them, because I said we do control a lot of games. There are going to be games where he is going to be called into action. I think the Atletico Madrid game at home, that he's going to certainly be tested. It's those situations where we're going to see the real kind of guy. So yeah, happy with him. Didn't have too much to do today, but yeah, we move. I mean, as Nishal said, we've looked so good in these 11 games, but we've got so much more to improve on. I'm running out of superlatives on every single review. We've done quite a few now since Tuchel's come in. And, you know, we're saying not the same sort of things because it's different games and it's different players, but we're pretty happy. We're pretty confident in the way we're going. So, yeah, I think a lot of people watching these will see us just happy and kind of going over the same things, because this Tuchel team is drilled, it's efficient, and as I said, we're patient in our build-up and we just get the results. I mean, another 2 goals today and another clean sheet. We still haven't hit the 300 Tuchel, so there's another gear I feel like we're missing. We're sort of in 2nd, 3rd gear at times in games. I want to see us get
a lot more gears to go.
Yeah, I just feel like we've got the handbrake on at times. We're 2-0 up today. We're sort of saving energy. I don't want to say saving energy, preserving energy. Obviously, with the subs, I thought they were pretty smart. I maybe would have brought Werner or Havertz off a little bit earlier. But yeah, I think can't complain. I fail to kind of pick at things, which I do like to do tactically and reviewing games and oppositions. But I'm not really finding too many holes. So yeah, it's a breath of fresh air what Tuchel's done, and he deserves all the praise because he's got a group of players that was floundering. You know. This is similar players that last season weren't good enough, this season weren't good enough. And like you said earlier, he's kind of tapped into what these players need individually, and he's got them all playing together. I'm just sitting here, relaxed. This is how I sit watching games. I sit here, I'm watching on my screen, and I'm just relaxed because we exude control. Like I said, exude confidence. I'm not really too worried. Other than that Richarlison chance today, I never thought we're in trouble here. And Everton have played like this in so many games, just like United have. They have a really good setup in away games against big teams. And we just, everything they could have thrown at us, we just stopped, just like the Liverpool game. We put out fires before anything is allowed to kind of burn. And that's what's so pleasing to see, because I'm someone who loves attacking football, but I do appreciate a good defensive performance. So, yeah, I know I've kind of blabbed on a little bit here off the back of kind of discussing Mendy, but yeah, just really happy with how everything's going. And obviously it's a delight to talk on the other side of the coin.
Brilliant. Bad meets evil. Mendy only has to put his cup of tea down a few times per match recently. So true. That's the comment of this session in this particular live stream. But to apologize, my son's going crazy at the background. I want to talk a little bit about the subs now. The subs, I felt like, not really much to do with the subs. I mean, obviously Pulisic came on late. I wanted to see Pulisic a little bit. I'm a bit concerned about Christian Pulisic. I hope that Thomas Tuchel does find a solution for Christian Pulisic very soon, because once again, got barely some minutes right at the end. Mason Mount's impact we saw straight away as soon as he was on. It was electric, the way he pressed, the way he dispossessed the opposition. He had a couple of shots as well. Yeah, there's not much I can say about Mason Mount. For me, this guy is an amazing player for us. I think we all need to start accepting this and start believing this, because, when he didn't play in that first half up until the goal, it did look like we were missing him quite a bit. So, for me, he was fantastic. Who was the third substitution? I can't remember the third substitution. Was it Ziyech that came
Kante and then Pulisic. Yeah.
Kante. Yeah, Kante. I mean, look, it is what it is. It's just once again, that they got slowly start wrapping things up. But before we do that, 122, we nearly had about 200 at one stage. Please get it to at least 100 likes, guys. Get it to 100 likes. Helps the channel out a lot. And please follow each and every one on my panel in social media. Taryn, let's talk a little bit about Thomas Tuchel. I think this is a perfect way to wrap things up with all the guys having a praise about Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, and as Jonathan said, control, sit back, relax, chill, just let your hand, just chill back and don't even worry about anything. So much control that Thomas Tuchel has every game that we go in, and yeah, just like that, what Jonathan's doing right now. I mean, this guy's a bit of a tactical masterclass at the moment that he's performing. What do you have to say about him, man? I mean, it looks like we can't lose at the moment.
First of all, I'll just say the most iconic quote probably in this channel, NFL Atletico Madrid review, saying I'm really excited for Lampard for the rest of the season. But we forgot about that. But yeah, like I said, let's just sit back and just have a little discussion about Tuchel right now. I think that Tuchel has just got us all sitting like this, as Jonathan said. Relax, you can't even see me because of the brand new banner you've got there, miss. But yeah, sit back, enjoy Tuchel's football, chill football. No worries, no defensive errors so far. But yeah, it's just chill, nice football. I'm really happy. It looks quite high class, the football, obviously. Haven't seen many errors in the attack in the midfield there, not losing the ball as much as before. And yeah, the thing I like about Tuchel's football is kind of the build-up play, how we're kind of breaking out of a press. I feel like we have more men back than forward. We have at least 5 players back, maybe even the wing back. So we have, 7 players back. So if we're trying to get out of a press with a left or right centre back, we have the 2 pivots to kind of release the pressure and the wing backs and then build from that. I think that's a bit different from the previous management team. Maybe we had less players, maybe just 1 pivot in there and 2 quite expansive attacking 8s. But now I really like how we're building up and we're transitioning really quickly. Maybe on the counter-attack, we could get the bodies in the right position a bit more quickly. I saw the Man United game, we had a counter-attack that kind of developed really badly. That could have been really effective. But yeah, Tuchel's football, I'm just really excited at the minute because he's been in charge for 11 Premier League games, something like that, 11 games in total. And we've seen such a huge improvement so far. And it's just only going to get better, hopefully, from here. And he's come in, and I feel like his mentality is, I just want to win games at the end of the season, maybe not play the most attractive style of football, just grind out the wins. And we're starting to see the attack kind of like develop a little bit, I feel like. But yeah, I feel like he's just trying to play football that is defensively solid, get wins, get far in the Champions League, get far in the FA Cup, maybe get second or third in the Premier League. That's what I'm aiming for personally in our form at the minute. But yeah, I feel like he's just trying to play that football to get to the end of the season. And next season, when he works the attack more, I'm intrigued to know how he's going to get the balance. I've never really seen the Thomas Tuchel balance. I've either seen a really attacking style of football, or right now a really radically defensive style of football. So I know we're keeping the ball a lot, and we have the possession to attack the box more. We have the possession to create chances. It's just about maybe creating more of the possession we have at the minute. But yeah, right now it just looks like he's grinding out wins and trying to get to the end of the season. I'm happy with that. Like Jonathan said, I appreciate attacking football a lot, but when we're seeing dogged, defensive, solid performances, like the Chelsea teams are really great. John Terry, Ricardo, that's what I'm thinking. Andreas Christensen turning into prime JT every game. We love to see it. But it's just amazing at the minute. I can't praise Tuchel enough for what he's doing, and it's going to be a really tough run in now. It's judgment time. I mentioned it on my podcast yesterday. That's not out yet. It'll be out soon. Check that out on the Perfect Hat Trick. But yeah, we're going to see that these last games are going to be crucial. Maybe the system is going to stay the same as a 3 at the back. Maybe he could change to a 4-2-3-1 later on. We don't really know what's going to happen until the end of the season. But yeah, we can't really judge it till the end. And let's just keep winning games. Let's go game by game, not think about too far in the future. Let's win game by game, keep going up the table, hopefully get a good run in the Champions League, win the FA Cup. Everything's Gucci. You know it is.
Everything's Gucci, baby.
I love it. It's all
Patrick,
Gucci.
yeah. For me, as I said, we've had some very, very big challenges. This one was looking at, Ancelotti and Everton's squad, I felt like this was one of our biggest challenges, and the way Everton's been on form, 3 wins in a row. They had a match in hand as well, so getting that victory over them, perfect. We keep, making that gap between the top 4 smaller and smaller with Leicester and Man United, and keeping them very honest. What I want to ask you, Patrick, and some praise from Thomas Tuchel, is that a lot of people initially kept on talking about, this is the honeymoon period, this is just the new manager bounce. I mean, is it really? I mean, the new manager bounce, surely it's over now. Can we start praising Thomas Tuchel?
Well, I'll answer that with a question. When was the last time you ever heard a manager bounce being 11 games? But no, I mean, to answer, yeah. Well, I think that's it right there. I mean, because about 5 or 6 games in, everyone was like he was playing soft opposition. Well, who have we played in the last month? I mean, we've played Man United, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. I mean, these are not like, small sides. These are big clubs. And he's come into the business period of the schedule, and he's still yet to be beaten. And I think the boys have made some excellent points about like maybe not all out attacking football, but the balance that he has in the side at the moment has been outstanding. And what I love most really has been the pressing. It's been intelligent pressing from the side. We do it, it's one thing to go and just all out press for like 60 minutes and then you get tired. What we're doing is we're doing intelligent pressing. So we're doing our pressing at all the right times. And you could see that today. I've always seen I always have Mason Mount as the standard for a workhorse in our side that work great. And I'm seeing that from a lot of guys now. We're seeing our wing backs get back to create a back 5 when we have to be on defense. And we're seeing like counterattack plays break down because we're pressing. And it's really, really great to see. And I really think that pressing is helping us to be more comfortable in possession in tight spaces. Like today, I was kind of like the main man Jonathan said earlier. You could just the main man, and also, and I believe also Taryn Werner also said this as well. Sitting back, Taryn Werner.
I'll take that.
But honestly, I felt like I could sit back. I'll do my version. You just sit back like this and watch, because the guys, even when they were in tight spaces. Yeah, exactly. I'll finish it like this. In tight spaces, we were able to, we didn't give the ball away needlessly. Whether it was Jorginho in the middle making an intelligent pass, we didn't panic when we were under, when Everton pressed us. We were able to put the ball out and, make intelligent passes and play it to the outside to get another attack started. And we really weren't bothered all game from that. And I just thought that was absolutely, outstanding. And I see RJ, big shout out to RJ. I know he's a friend of the channel, and check out all his stuff as well. He's a great account. and knows his stuff. But I think what he's saying there, you can only play who's in front of you. What do they always say? Like, treat every game like a cup, each game like a cup final. And that's what we're doing at the moment. And we're passing the tests. And we're not panicking if we get a draw here or there. But we understand the urgency of trying to get those 3 points on the board as often as possible. And I think that starts with the manager.
For sure. Could not have said it any better. 176 live. Smash that like button right now, guys. Right now. Get it to 100 likes straight away. Let's give it up to Jonathan to close this show. Jonathan, some final words, some Thomas Tuchel praise. I know you've praised him throughout, but with the matches that are coming up and the way we're playing, how do you feel? You feel we're slowly going back into the top echelons of where we once used to be in European football?
Yeah, I'm really happy because he's got a system that obviously allows us to thrive, a system that kind of gets the best out of the squad that we have at the moment. I feel like he is going with this back five in order to get us through the rest of the season. I do think he's going to revert to a four at the back and a more attacking team next season once he's had a little bit more time to kind of work on the training pitch, because he's come in, he's hardly had any time between games. He's hardly had any time to kind of get the tactics board out, get them on the training pitch and drill them for weeks on end. He's doing all of this in between games, massive games at that as well. We're still in the Champions League, like we've said, we've got a good chance to progress. In the FA Cup, we've got a good chance to progress. The Premier League, we've been climbing, and now we're in control of our own destiny. I know West Ham are winning right now, which means they could go above us with their game in hand if they win, but they've got 4 really tough games, and a squad like that, and as well as Leicester and Everton, they will falter at some points because they don't have the individual quality that squads like Man United, like Chelsea, like Man City have. I'm really, really happy. And I think I saw a comment earlier from Michael about a German engineer. Like, I've got a German manager, I've got a German whip. I'm German for everything because they are trusty and reliable. That's what I'm going to say. So, look, I'm really happy. As I said, I feel like he's doing what he can to eke out what he needs to from this squad this season. Next season, expect something completely different because he's tactically so good. He knows exactly how to set up and how to nullify oppositions and not to give too much respect. I feel like today you play James to respect Digny, but then he's got Alonso on the left to go after that right-hand side of Everton, which he sees as more of a weakness. So, he's playing Havertz because he feels like there's going to be space in the hole. He can go at the centre-backs, which he did. We've got one of our best players of recent time on the bench, and we still look fairly efficient. So, you can chop and change a few of these players. We've set up in a way that each player knows exactly what is expected of him. And that's the main thing for me. Tuchel has got everyone understanding their roles. Everyone's happy. And look, when you're winning, no one can complain. It's when you're losing, when you're drawing, when you're not playing, that's when the grumbles start. But he's got us into a position where all the players want to play and they know if they don't play, I could lose my position. It was a good comment on Alonso earlier where he gets a bit comfortable. No player right now really, is playing without merit. So, you've got the likes of Pulisic and Ziyech on the bench, can't even really get a look in. And Pulisic is touted as one of our best attacking players. If he's not even in form, not even on the pitch, as I said, next season, expect a lot more. This is just the start under Tuchel. And I don't think that's being too cocky or arrogant, but it's just a sign of things to come, in my opinion. So, yeah, great way to wrap up the show, just to talk about and appreciate our manager who's coming in really tough circumstances, understood the job at hand, and he's executing it with that German efficiency that I like to see.
Jonathan, honestly, that was so well said. I don't have anything else to add.
Mate, Shakespeare.
Because that was brilliant the way you sort of said that. From where we were to where he's taken us, the way he's utilized the squad, his tactical nous, everything spot on. Guys, that pretty much wraps us up. Thank you to each and every one of you guys. Before you go, please smash that like button. Get us to 100 likes at least. There's 176 people that are online right now, so get us to 100 likes. And just a quick notice, obviously follow each and every one of my panelists. I will have the information in the description very soon. I may have a watch along ready for the Leeds game, so do look out for that because the Leeds game is happening, in a nice sort of time for Sydney, which is about 11:30 p.m. So I may do a watch along. Some of the guys over here could join us. I'm sure Taryn wanted to do a watch along, so Taryn might be there. Mark, previously you've seen Mark in my channel. Mark might be there as well. And for the other guys, we might even have some of the live chat people join the watch along and talk to us while the game's going on. So that could be fun. So I might just have it open for everyone to come and join. So do look out for the watch along against Leeds up next, which is going to be very, very good. But yeah, 3 points, clean sheet. We continue on. We're looking good. Until next time, everyone. See ya.